Hey guys, and welcome to my first video of 2023 where I thought we would do a good old-fashioned unboxing. So just before Christmas, the Bug Factory reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try out their mealworm growing pods. Now, back in the day, they were under a different company name and they did a similar thing. I think they used different materials, and I actually had the pods. I found that the lid of the pods could sometimes warp if you went from hot to cold, and so it wasn't suitable for my mealworms, but I to this day still use them with my Morio worms. However, they have revamped their design and come up with something a little different. Okay, so the biggest difference I would say is size. So this is the original size I had back in the day. As you can see, so much bigger, so much more room. So that is good. There's also these little carbon filters that I think go in here somewhere. So I assume that should help with smell. I will say, and maybe I've gone nose blind, I don't find there's too much smell from my mealworms. I'd say crickets are probably the worst, but it's a nice extra feature to have. And then we have some little tweezers and this little bit that goes in here. So the reason you have 3 trays and substantially bigger trays than the previous design, and I can't actually fit them all in shop, but so you have 1 tray that's empty to begin with, 1 with mealworms, 1 with beetles, 1 with pupa on top. Once all those pupa hatch out and you've got loads of beetles, you put them in the spare tray where they will lay eggs and eventually have mealworms. And then you just redo this every time you see a pupa, you put it in here, it hatches out to a beetle. Once you have a load of beetles, you put them in here, they lay eggs, and so on and so forth. Now, as I said, I've bred mealworms for years, so I just have a tub of them, so let's try this out. My hands are gonna get so dirty, but this is the kind of substrate they have. We don't have a ton of beetles in here. I kind of find the beetles I keep will breed and then just kind of die off. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe I'm not providing something right, but maybe this whole new setup will make a difference. So first I'm gonna just tip these out into here. We do have mealworms in here, not tons because I do feed them to my geckos, but I think quite a nice, you know, nice size. My hands are so dirty. Okay, so I actually have 2 lots on the go because originally I was separating them out, but I got lazy. So try not to be like me. Now, when it comes to breeding mealworms, I find mealworms to be one of the easiest feeders to breed just because you leave them to it and they'll get on with it. I would say when you start a colony, you'll probably think nothing's happening. And this is because their babies are like microscopic. But once that cycle of breeding and eggs laying and hatching goes on, you just get mealworms consistently. I know a lot of places will recommend bran and cereal and stuff like that with the mealworms. In my experience, and if you've ever seen my mite infestation that happened just before Christmas in like 2020, I would not recommend that. You can get bran mites. If the bran gets slightly moist from a bit of vegetable you've put in to feed them, there can be an outbreak, and I just would not recommend it. So the substrate I use in here is earth mix. I'm yet to find any, but look how big this is. It's massive. They've got a good few inches of substrate as well, and that's something I find with mealworms. If you're breeding mealworms, if you don't have much substrate, they tend to pupate a lot quicker because I guess they feel exposed, they just pupate. So I think this would be really good for them. It might make them last longer and get chunkier. Unfortunately, we can't really use the entire thing because I literally have this lonesome beetle, which I kind of feel bad for, so maybe I'll just pop you back in with, sorry about that. There we go. Oh dear. So once I find more beetles, I will do this. But we'll put the lid on. And I actually feel like this lid feels a lot more secure. It's a lot deeper, so the mealworms shouldn't really come out. And as I said, like, it's quite a big difference from their previous design. It's going to be, you know, it's going to take up a fair bit of room, but actually once you've got this sorted, so you've got your whole colony set up and going, it just stacks. So you should be all good to go, and it just takes up this amount of space. So if you want to try out the Bug Factory situation, I will leave links below. As I said previously, I still use that old one for my Morio worms, but what I might do, I might use one of their new bigger ones for my Morio worms. But an issue that happened in here is I really needed more Morio worms because they don't tend to breed. Like, you have to wait till they turn into beetles, and one of the good reasons to keep Morio worms as just a treat is they don't pupate quickly. I'm pretty sure we did experiments a while ago and you have to like single them out and then they will change into a beetle. You keep them in a situation like this, they rarely pupate. But what happened a while ago is I accidentally ordered giant mealworms, which do pupate rather quickly, and actually ended up breeding. I for some reason thought they were sterile. I don't know why, maybe that's just the ones that are treated, I don't know. But what's happened now is we have a mix of Morio worms and baby giant mealworms. So I may separate them out because they are just reproducing. But as you can see, like, these house the mealworms pretty well, and I think they like that it's dark. But yeah, I might move these into a bigger container, one of the Bug Factory ones. I'm sorry if I've rushed through this a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like kind of allergic to mealworms and Morio worms, so as long as I'm just picking them out to feed my geckos, I'm fine. But once you mix up that like dirt and handle the mealworms a lot, I get super sneezy and I can't really breathe. I did end up moving the Morio worms into the bigger tank. I just think it'll be more useful that way, and I'll use the other one for the beetles and just cycle it that way. But I did also make little name signs for the tanks so I can easily tell who is in who. I think this is a massive improvement from their last design. They are far bigger and better for the Morio worms. So if you would like to try these out, I will leave the links below. Thank you to the Bug Factory for sending me these, and thank you to you guys for watching despite me having a slight allergic reaction right now. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, and goodbye.